So today's example, and for those of you who want to say, oh, it's just an example, it's one example, it's not representative of everything. Uh, I wish you were right. You are not. It's one example that I finally chose to talk about out of a never ending supply of examples that take place on a daily basis. So, this is multiple occasions of a specific dog that is an Australian Shepherd. Why anyone living in these high population communities where people don't exercise would ever own an Australian Shepherd is already ridiculous. They were bred to work all day long. They have that sort of energy level, and they are instead the captives of a species that prides itself on finding ways not to exercise. And let's see, in this case, my girlfriend was actually out with the dogs, and I was at a distance, thank goodness. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to bite my lip, bite my tongue when the dog was trying to say hi, and the man said, no, it's not a good idea. A moment later, he's on the ground. I guess the dog has pulled so hard that it's gotten away and run over to our dogs. And for most people nowadays, this would be an absolute shit show, panic. People thinking that the world was ending and all the dogs are going to murder each other. Thank God my girlfriend is above that. So what did happen is she remained calm, and the Australian Shepherd got what it wanted, which was to desperately socialize, made it over to my dogs, which are, accustomed to things and don't overreact. So there was no problem whatsoever, except for the human finally catching up to the situation and over dramatizing everything. There's an important lesson in there. Don't deprive your dogs of what they desperately need, and they won't act desperate. The second one is this idea that people leashing their dogs are the ones who are in control. You are restraining prisoners. I think it barely qualifies as control. Compared to those of us whose dogs are willingly complying with our will, that's control. That's a relationship with an animal, not a slave-prisoner relationship that you see demonstrated most of the time. So, run into those people again, and the female of the species is with the man this time, and she's clearly running the show, and I just walk away. I'm not gonna I know the type of people I can be patient with and the ones that I just have to walk away from. So, story goes, my girlfriend actually tries to allow that dog to say hi again. It wants to. It's wagging its tail, and the woman says, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yes, because the fact that it went so well last time is a really good reason to make sure your dog doesn't have another positive experience. And I guess the man actually tried to chime in and say, hey, no, it's okay. And no, she's wearing the pants. And it's like, no, absolutely not. And the poor dog is barrel shaped. And so the story goes that the only reason that they're out walking is because she had a heart attack. Oh, imagine that. Americans with heart issues. And she says the dog hasn't been on a walk in 4 years, so the dog acts dumb. Actually used the word acts dumb. This is the human perception of another animal expressing need gets labeled as dumb. I'm tempted to put a picture of this woman in this podcast. People like this need to be publicly shamed until you realize how stupid what you're saying is. But it goes beyond that. So, and this goes to what I was saying at the beginning. This doesn't apply to everyone. I get it. But it's a vast amount of the population who have to be told by a doctor that you should probably take a walk. You have to be convinced to do exercise in as minimal of a form as walking. Only then, because a heart attack finally got the person to go to a doctor. The fact that the most intelligent species has to go to a doctor to be told, well, maybe you should exercise. And we own other species? So the fact that dogs are deprived of the freedom and the joy of running and exploring, much less the ones that don't even get their little slave walk, their little march down death row on the sidewalk once a day, that's bad enough. But then number two, you can't register from your own health experience that maybe the dogs are also suffering from not being allowed to exercise. Of course they are. Yeah. How many unhealthy looking dogs match the unhealthy looking owners? That was forced upon the dog. That's not free will. I'll throw another example into today's episode because it's very similar. Different owner, different dog. But once again, I was with my girlfriend on a walk and just about lost it and had to walk away. Another barrel-shaped dog that the person was clearly not a good owner, didn't understand the dog's body language. And I mean, the poor dog, honestly, the torso looked like a barrel. She says, yeah, the vet says my dog needs to lose some weight. And, you know me. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm done. Because you needed to go to the vet to tell you that your barrel-shaped dog might need to lose some weight. You needed someone with a diploma hanging on the wall for you to fucking understand that your dog taking on the shape of a barrel might not be a sign of good health. But it gets better. So she says, we're going to start trying to walk once a day. We're going to start trying to walk once a day? God, I wonder why your dog might not look very healthy. And even now, the best you can say is you're going to try? You're going to try to give your dog one walk a day? These are the animals that we love. These are the animals that are humans' best friend. This is how we treat them. I mean, no wonder the rest of the animals on the planet are effed. I love you so much. Your big reward is to get marched down some concrete with something wrapped tight around your throat and make zero decisions for yourself until you poop, and then I'm going to march you right back home. Oh, I love you so much. I'll mention this in other episodes, but it's appropriate to mention it here. I have to exercise for mental health. And I finally put the two together later in life. But if it's not that I'm into physical fitness or care that much about what my body looks like. It's necessary for my body to be healthy, for my mind to be healthy, for me to function. I can't even really have a very productive day working if I haven't exercised. It clears the brain. It helps everything function better. I can't imagine how much mental illness there is in dogs on some level. They aren't writing books or going to therapists or vocalizing to us what they're going through. But how could they possibly not be suffering mentally? I mean, they probably need it more than we do. They look what dogs descended from. Wolves. We don't even have that sort of a background. And many humans exercise religiously. Doctors tell us we have to exercise. How can that not apply to dogs? Well, it does apply to dogs. You just don't want to hear it because you don't want to exercise.